In this tutorial we'll be looking at the Far South Networks Com.X1, specifically commissioning a Com.X1, that is adding iTAs to the hardware list as well as phones, configuring extensions, adding trunks, some outbound routing, inbound routing, and finally monitoring test calls to see that they proceed properly. It is important to add a Com.X server on a hardware device interface in order for the Ethernet connection to be established to the ITA. That's easily done, similar to creating a DHCP server on an interface. After applying and making network changes, it's important to restart the system for those changes to take effect. You might have a Com.X1 with more than one ITA that's attached to it, and this is how you would add them. First, set up the interface, Ethernet interface, to provide IPs to common devices, and then add them from the hardware panel as they are detected. Okay, here we can see the new device detected on the interface, just configured, and this time addition should succeed. Success. The ports are immediately available for configuration in the GUI. Looking at any of the individual ports, you can change things like input and output gain, echo cancellation, ports that are added in groups may have special settings such as fax detect. On FXS extensions, you can see immediate mode turned on, fax channel, which enables jitter buffering and disables echo cancellation, allowing or disallowing transfers. Basic rates can be configured in two types of link types. It's very important to get this right, so you may have some transient and intermittent problems on your link. Bus termination and fax settings and echo cancellation is only available if the bribe ports have been added to a group, which we'll do a bit later. Right, adding some DHCP services, which will allow phones to be detected on the necessary LAN port. Enabling the server and giving it an address range. Once again, change to network interface settings requires the Com.X to be restarted. And now you can see that the IP phone has been detected on the interface we just configured. Adding the device is very simple, straightforward. Make sure it gets an IP and give it a name that makes sense to you. And thereafter the ports of that device should be available for configuration. There we go, Yealink T28P. Once the phone has been added to the hardware list, you can right-click and connect to it to access the phone's web-based configuration GUI. Log on to the Yealink and we can configure specialist settings here. Configuring extensions in the Com.X1 is very straightforward. Move from the hardware panel to the extensions panel. On the right hand side, the ports that are available for extension configuration are listed, and select multiple of them by using control click. Give it the first extension in the range and you have a full range of extensions configured. You can also add free extensions which can be used for hot desking. In that case, the user can log into the extension with a PIN code. It's very important for hot desking extensions to configure a PIN code, otherwise you will not be able to dynamically log into it. You can also add a range of extensions, in this case SIP extensions, and we recommend that you change the password of the extension to something different from the extension number. The Com.X can generate random passwords for you. Looking at an individual extension, You can give it a friendly name, which becomes a CID, caller ID, and also you can assign ports to the extension. Enable things like call waiting, ring groups, pickup groups, count codes reflecting the CDRs when calls are made from this extension, a PIN for the extension, and an email, associated email address for voicemail to email. SIP extensions additionally have codecs that can be configured, and multiple can be selected and prioritized as shown here. Here we are unassigning an extension from a port, which effectively makes the extension free and the port as well, and so hard disking is possible on that extension and on that port from that device. Also reassign, and only available ports would be available to select here for assignment. There's the user PIN field that you have to configure in order to be able to log in dynamically using this extension on a free device. You can also easily configure Follow Me on your extensions from the Com.X GUI. Follow Me can be disabled or enabled, and a list of Follow Me extensions or external numbers can be added. Note that external numbers would require a hash at the end. There's also a destination if no answer, which you can set to any destination in the system. You can see the SIP ports available for the T28 device that we added.